Hi, my name is Bob Brennaman. I'm a realtor in the area, and today we're going to take you through central Mount Pleasant. I'm going to show you a neighborhood I like, and we're going to talk about some other neighborhoods as we drive. And I'm going to show you a little bit about the commercial area in central Mount Pleasant, and I hope you enjoy the tour. All right, y'all, so we are right off of Rifle Range Road, and we've made our way up to the central part of Mount Pleasant. I'm going to take you through Hamlin Plantation, this neighborhood that I'm featuring today, but I want to show you what commercial is around the areas that I'm highlighting the neighborhood in. So we're riding through Seaside Farms, and Seaside Farms is a great example, in my opinion, of what they've done with the new commercial. When I say new commercial in Mount Pleasant, stuff that's been built in the last 25 or 30 years. The town wants everything to kind of be hidden. So you wouldn't see this from the road. It's hidden behind a row of trees. There's a Target back here. There's also a hotel, and then shops and restaurants throughout Seaside Farms. And then a neighborhood by the same name is tied into this shopping center, which I really like. Seaside Farms, the neighborhood. We won't go through there today, but I will also point out one of the better restaurants in Mount Pleasant is the restaurant here on our left is Opal Restaurant, and any of his restaurants, any of Patrick Owens is the head chef and proprietor owner of Opal, and he owns Langdon's and Wood and Grain, and then a kind of a Tex-Mex place that he recently opened. So I highly recommend that if you're in Charleston or Mount Pleasant and wanting to find a good place to eat. There's also a grocery store back here. Again, we won't ride by the grocery store. I just, again, wanted you to kind of see how this commercial sets up. And the road we're coming up on is the Isle of Palms connector. So very close to the beach. We won't go out there today. Hopefully we're going to get back in the car soon and do an updated video of Isle of Palms and Sullivan's, and we'll take you out there at some point. But one of the other pluses to being in Mount Pleasant, I think, is a place to live, is access to the beaches, because you've got the Isle of Palms to our right and then Sullivan's Island right next to it. So, really easy to access. And even as, Charleston grows and more people are showing up here, and, the beaches are getting more crowded, nothing like what most of y'all are used to experiencing in, some of the bigger places around the United States with beaches. So right up from here, I'm going to take you in the town center, and we're going to look at some of the commercial from there, and then we're going to go up into Hamlin. All right, guys, so we made our way over from Seaside Farms, and we're just going to run through the town center, not to be confused with the center of town. It's just it's the name of the shopping complex, and it is central as we're riding through central Mount Pleasant, and again showing you the commercial spaces around Hamlin Plantation, which we're going to drift up to here in a minute to ride you through that neighborhood. So up in this section, besides having a Lowe's, home improvement store, movie theater, some decent restaurants. I mean, I would say the one thing that Mount Pleasant probably lacks a little bit is great restaurants, and it's improving. And I worked in the food business when I was in college, so I'm kind of I don't want to say a food snob, but I'm a critic about food, and I think the food scene in Mount Pleasant could be better. But there are good restaurants, like I mentioned earlier. Opal, great restaurant. Any of Patrick Owens' restaurants are phenomenal. And Grimaldi's Pizza here on our left is actually a pretty decent spot. Cava, I think, is like is a chain. And this place, the First Watch, is pretty good. It's pretty expensive for breakfast, but it's, if you're looking for breakfast in Mount Pleasant, it's not a bad place to go check out. And then you can see, we're just going to spin through here, let y'all get a little bit more of a look of what's back here. Your Lululemon, some of your more high-end retail brands, all inside of town center. All right, y'all, so we are going to head on up to Hamlin Plantation, and again, this is Central Mount Pleasant. We're going to show you a little bit more about what's around here as we go. All right, guys, so we made our way up from the town center and Seaside Farms shopping up to the neighborhood that I want to feature today, which is Hamlin Plantation. And Hamlin Plantation's probably been around since maybe late 90s. A lot of it was built in the mid 2000s. And it's a John Whelan neighborhood. And we're right off of Rifle Range Road, so just to tie back in, we're going north, Highway 17's out to our left. And we're going to, again, drop in here, ride through here, show you a little bit about Hamlin Plantation, and then we'll make our way up to the north part of Mount Pleasant. Okay, y'all, so we're slowly making our way back into to Hamlin Plantation. We're on Hamlin Plantation Parkway, and I'm going to take you through by the amenity center. So there's a lot of good amenities in these neighborhoods, especially the ones that John Whelan developed. He was always very smart about building a good amenity center and then building the neighborhood out around it. So I think, whether it's here, Dunes West, and Brickyard Plantation is another neighborhood that he developed some years ago. But you can see, Hamlin Plantation Club, pool, fitness, and tennis. Behind the big white building is a junior Olympic sized swimming pool with a pretty cool water slide. And you can see on this, and it may be helpful if, is all of this out here is the Atlantic Ocean, and we're this red arrow on the map, but very close to, to Hamlin Sound, and then again on out to the ocean. Tennis courts, a couple of them you can't really see from the car because they're back behind trees. There's a small fitness center in here, not something you probably would use every single day, but if you, didn't feel like going to the gym and leaving the neighborhood, that would be an option. Small little playground area. And this big white building is something it's not staffed. So you could have, your kids' parties there, you could have, a Christmas party, whatever, and, rent it out. It's fairly inexpensive if if you're a resident inside of Hamlin Plantation. All of the amenities that we're kind of riding through and looking at are part of your homeowners association. So you're looking at about $1,100 a year covers all the amenities I just rattled off, holiday decorations, and just of the exterior of the neighborhoods, and that's what it covers. So it's a pretty good deal if you if you want access to a pool. I think these big neighborhoods are good ways to go. And I want to take you back here and show you just a little bit of the architecture, and y'all bear with me as we make our way back to the section I'm going to show you. Okay, y'all, so I'm going to take you through, again, we're in Hamlin Plantation, multiple subsections, and subsections is just a neighborhood inside a neighborhood. The Sound is the subsection I'm getting ready to ride you through. The reason it's called the Sound is because it backs up to Hamlin Sound. This subsection inside of Hamlin Plantation, all these houses are going to be on much bigger lots than what you're going to see in some of the other sections, like Waverly at the front of the neighborhood. You're going to see those to be a little bit smaller lots. So we won't go through those today, just for the sake of time. But just keep in mind, as we're riding through here, I'm taking you through the part of Hamlin Plantation that's going to have the biggest lots. And these are about a third of an acre to sometimes half an acre. They back up to a lot of ponds. And one of the questions I get asked a lot of times when I'm riding people through here, or we're asking me in phone calls when they call me, is, are these houses elevated because of flood? And the answer to that is yes and no. Because you can see over to our left, and I'll see if Jason can shoot over here. So this house to the left is basically, up on a crawl space, and then the house on the right, and most of these through here are elevated houses. The reason they're elevated is where you can park underneath it. It's a low country style house. Is this to our right, architectural style, and that's very popular. I would say if I was going to buy a house that I wanted to resell easily, the elevated low country style house is probably the best one you can buy. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's in a flood zone. It just means it's just our architectural style for a lot of what's here in Mount Pleasant. So we'll spin through here, and we're going to go from here, as we'll go out of this neighborhood. Again, there's other neighborhoods in central Mount Pleasant that I would, certainly recommend. Brickyard Plantation, Seaside Farms, Snee Farm, all good, centrally located neighborhoods. And you can call or text me at 843-345-6074. And I can offer personalized suggestions for neighborhoods that fit your price point and kind of your goals. So, if you're watching this video and you want suggestions that are in a price range you're looking in, I'm happy to do that. And you certainly can get in touch with me by phone call or text. All right, y'all, so we are heading into Oakland Plantation. We just left Hamlin Plantation. So this is a shopping area. Hamlin Plantation was a neighborhood, but this is a big outdoor shopping, very similar to the town center, similar to Seaside Farms as far as the architectural look of the shopping, and we'll get up here and you'll get a little bit better look at it. You've got a super Walmart, you've got a Kohl's back here, which, my gosh, shoot me if I had to work at a Kohl's. And if you're watching this and you work at Kohl's, I'm not dissing Kohl's, but I go in there to return Amazon stuff sometimes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this has got to be the most dead environment. It's just, I guess that's the way it is with everybody uses Amazon, or at least I do. So turning in here, if we kept going, this would take us on up towards Charleston National. This is actually a good little access road that runs behind Oakland Plantation. You can use to divert yourself off of Highway 17. And again, you can kind of see the upscale shopping. It's nice and well manicured. And East Bay Deli here on the right, it was in downtown Charleston for decades, and it's a pretty good place for lunch if you're, wanting something kind of low key. I also like the New York Butcher Shop, which we have, I guess, about 4 of these in Mount Pleasant now. So if you're needing some really good high-end butcher shop products, recommend that. And then up here on the corner is probably one of my favorite little go-to spots is Bon Bon Me, and it's Vietnamese and French kind of a sandwich shop, so definitely worth checking out. Whoops, don't want to get in a wreck. So this is taking us right back out to 17, and again, this is cut back behind trees. You're not going to see a lot of this from the road, but it's like a lot of commercial, like I mentioned earlier, is kind of well hidden. All right, that's a wrap, y'all. Again, if you like our videos, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can watch a ton of videos about Mount Pleasant that I've shot over the years by checking out our YouTube channel. And if you have questions, you can always call or text me at 843-345-6074. You can check out our website for all of Charleston, which is brennamangroup.com. Until next time, y'all.